Hi, for today's video, I will go through the Serebriakoff Advanced Culture Fair test. This test originates from 1988 from a book called A Guide to Intelligence and Personality Testing, including actual tests and answers, by Victor Serebriakoff. The way I will go through this test is that I will leave a 5-second timer at the start of each puzzle, and you have the option to pause the video and try to solve them yourself. In total, there are 36 puzzles, and you don't have a time limit, but on this version of the test, where you have clickable answers, you can choose if you want it timed or not timed. Here we have the example puzzle of the test to understand how the test works. In the first row, we have one object per image. In the second, we have 2. In the third, we have 3. In the columns, we have squares, circles, diamonds. So the answer should be 3 diamonds. This matches answer D. Answer D is correct. Puzzle 1. Looking at the columns, we see that as we go down, we add one more object at 120 degrees in counterclockwise direction compared to the last object. To visualize this, I made this animation of the columns. We start with the first images, the second, and the third. This matches answer E. Answer E is correct. Puzzle 2. In every image, we have this one tile in common in the top left. In the first row, we have a repetition of 2 tiles to the right of this tile. In the second row, we have a repetition of 1 tile to the right of this tile. And in the third row, we have 0. In the first column, we have 0 tiles repeating under the green tile. In the second column, we have 1. And in the third column, we have 2. This means that the correct answer should be 3 tiles stacked vertically. This matches answer C. Answer C is correct. Puzzle 3. This is a simple addition puzzle that you can solve either in the rows or the columns. As an example for how this puzzle works, let's look at the first column. So we add the first image with the second to get the third. To solve the puzzle, we look at the third column, we add the first image with the second, and we get answer E. Answer E is correct. Puzzle 4. Looking at the rows, we add the half letter of the first image with the half letter of the second image to produce the letter in the third image. Doing this for the third row, we get X, so we can eliminate the non-X answers. Next, in the columns, we see that we add the pattern of the first image with the pattern of the second to produce the pattern of the third. In the first column, we have horizontal plus vertical gives horizontal and vertical. In the second column, we have squares plus triangles gives squares and triangles. And in the third column, we have circles plus dots gives circles and dots. Out of the 4 answers, only answer H has circles and dots. Answer H is correct. Puzzle 5. In the rows, we have these half shapes that are pulled through each other, and in the last column, they become a complete shape. Looking at the height and the width of the figure in the last row, this only matches answer B. Answer B is correct. Puzzle 6. Each image has a dot in the middle. In the first row, the top and the bottom dot repeats. In the second row, the bottom dot repeats. And in the third row, no dot repeat. In the first column, the left and the right dot repeats. In the second column, the right dot repeats. And in the third column, no dot repeats. So no dot repeats in the last row or column, meaning that we will only have the middle dot left, matching answer B. Answer B is correct. Puzzle 7. The shapes repeat in the rows. In the first row, we have a hexagon. In the second row, we have this deformed hexagon. And in the third row, we have an even more deformed hexagon. Only some of the answers matches this most deformed hexagon, so we can eliminate the rest. In the columns, the amount of shading repeats. In the first column, we have 100%, so left of this line. In the second column, we have 50%, so left of this line. And in the third column, we have 25%, so left of this line. This only matches answer H. Answer H is correct. Puzzle 8. The pattern in the outer area of the shapes repeat on the diagonals from top right to bottom left like this. So the pattern of the outer area of the correct answer should match the red diagonal, and only answer B and D matches this diagonal, so we can eliminate the rest. And then we have the inner shape, which repeats on the diagonals from top left to bottom right. The pattern of the inner shape in the green diagonal matches answer D. Answer D is correct. Puzzle 9. The type of shape repeats on the diagonals from top right to bottom left like this. In the red diagonal, we have hexagons, and also in the rows, we have this pattern of one shape, two shapes, three shapes. So we know that the answer will be 3 hexagons, matching answer E. Answer E is correct. Puzzle 10. In the rows, we have the repetition of the triangle. In the first row, it points to the bottom right. In the second row, to the top. In the third row, to the bottom left. Meaning that it will point to the bottom left in the answer, matching only answer H and G. Next, in the columns, we have the repetition of this blob. First column, bottom left. Second column, bottom right. Third column, top. Answer G has the blob on the top. Answer G is correct. Puzzle 11. This is an addition with cancellation type of puzzle in the rows and the columns. To solve the puzzle, we look at the third row. We add the first and the second image. The circle cancels out, and we're left with this X shape. This matches answer G. Answer G is correct. Puzzle 12. The shapes repeat in the rows, so circle, hexagon, square. We can eliminate every non-square answer, and also every image has only one shape, while answer A has 2 shapes, so we can eliminate answer A. The pattern of the thickness of the shapes repeat on the top right to bottom left diagonals. In the red diagonal, we have these thick shapes, which matches answer B. Answer B is correct. Puzzle 13. In the rows, the inner shape repeats. In the first row, we have vertical. In the second, horizontal. And in the third row, black. In the columns, we have these different ellipse shapes in different patterns. In the third column, we have these 2 black ellipses. This only matches answer E. Answer E is correct. Puzzle 14. Another puzzle of addition with cancellation in the rows and the columns. Looking at the last row, we have these 2 squares which will add together and cancel out, and this one hexagon that will be carried over to the answer. This small hexagon matches answer H. Answer H is correct. Puzzle 15. So looking at the rows, we have these circle segments that move along these diagonal lines. In the first row, we have a small circle that's complete in the first image. In the second row, we have a larger circle that's complete in the second image. So it fits the pattern that in the third row, we have a large circle that's complete in the third image. This matches answer D. Answer D is correct. Puzzle 16. Another puzzle of addition with cancellation in the rows and the columns. Looking at the last row, the 2 first images has this triangle in common, which will cancel out, and this circle and dot, which will be left behind. matching answer C. Answer C is correct. Puzzle 17. In the top right to bottom left diagonals, we have a repetition of the shapes. The red diagonal have these triangles pointing to the top left, so we can eliminate all the answers that doesn't have this triangle. Next, we have the dots, which repeat in the rows. In the first row, we have 1. In the second, we have 2. In the third, we have 3. This matches answer H. Answer H is correct. Puzzle 18. Another puzzle where we have addition with cancellation in the rows and the columns. Looking at the last row, we have the bottom left half of the flag covered in the first image, and then the top right half covered in the second image. Adding these together gives a complete black flag. This matches answer F. Answer F is correct. Puzzle 19. So this puzzle is similar to addition with cancellation in the rows and the columns, but the rules are a bit different. To solve it, we compare the first and the third row. So in the first row, we see that we take the second image and put it inside the inner area of the first image, giving the third image. So we do the same thing for the third row. We take the second image and put it on the inside of the first image. This matches answer C. Answer C is correct. Puzzle 20. Another puzzle that uses addition with cancellation in the rows and the columns. To solve it, we look at the last column. This shape is cancelled out, while the 3 others are carried over to the answer. This matches answer G. Answer G is correct. Puzzle 21. The type of shape repeats on the diagonals from top left to bottom right. In the green diagonal, we have this window shape, so the answer will also be this window shape. Next, let's look at the objects in one diagonal. So first of all, they're pointing in different directions, so we need to fix them all in the same direction. This makes it obvious that we have one big triangle and 2 smaller ones. One of the small triangles have the same height as the big triangle, while the other small one has the same width as the big triangle. We see the same for these curved shapes. For the window shapes, we have one big one, one tall one, so we need one that's wide. Answer B is not wide. Answer A is tall and wide, leaving answer G and E left. Now, none of the shapes in the matrix are pointing downwards. They're all pointing either up to the top right or to the right. So answer E does not fit, leaving only answer G. Answer G is correct. Puzzle 22. A simple addition puzzle in the rows and the columns. Looking at the third row, adding these together gives a triangle with black on the left, white on the right, and striped on the bottom, matching answer H. Answer H is correct. Puzzle 23. These shapes repeat on the diagonals from top left to bottom right. Here we have the shapes of the red, blue, and green diagonal. Notice how on each diagonal there is one normal shape, one shape that's ripped in half, and one shape that is squeezed together. Now the torn up shape could either be the normal shape or the squeezed shape. So the correct answer is either torn up image 1 or torn up image 5. Looking at the answers, there is only one answer that matches either. This is answer D. Answer D is correct. Puzzle 24. Another one of these puzzles where we have additions with weird rules. To solve it, we go by the first and the third column and compare them. In the first column, the pattern in image 2 is added to the inner area of image 1 to produce image 3. So in column 3, the pattern in image 2 should be added to the inner shape in image 1 to produce the third image. This matches answer G. Answer G is correct. Puzzle 25. The way I see this puzzle is that we have these repeats from top right to bottom left. For example, in the green diagonal, we have these shapes. Notice as you move towards the right, equivalent to moving down in the matrix, the shapes within the images moves towards the top left. So to solve the puzzle, we base ourselves on image 4 and move all the shapes up towards the top left by 1. So hexagon in the top left, circle in the middle, and square in the bottom right. This matches answer A. Answer A is correct. Puzzle 26. First, let's take a look at the columns. In the first column, we have a triangle repeating in the top left. In the second column, it's in the top right. And in the third column, it's in the bottom. We can eliminate answer E and F since they don't have a triangle on the bottom. Next, let's focus on the rows. So in the rows, we have these simple repetitions, but the triangles in the columns hide these repetitions. In the first row, we have arrow in the top right, circle in the top left, and square in the bottom. In the second row, we have arrow on the bottom, circle in the top left, and square in the top right. So to solve the puzzle, we look at the third row. First, we have arrow in the top left, so we can eliminate the answers without an arrow in the top left. Next, we have circle in the top right. This only matches answer A. Answer A is correct. Puzzle 27. This is a puzzle where we have addition with cancellation in the rows and the columns, as well as the intersection of shapes. For example, if we look at the first row, the outer shape is like this. The top right is shared between the two images, while the top left and bottom left is not. Therefore, the top left and the bottom left is carried over to the third image. This is addition with cancellation, but for the inner shape, we have something different. So the two first images share this line, but they don't share these two lines. Only the shared line is carried over to the third image. So this is pretty much the opposite of addition with cancellation. So to solve the puzzle, we look at the third row. The two first images have both the outer top right and the outer bottom right in common, so this will cancel out. While for the inner shape, they don't have anything in common. So the answer will be just a single dot, which matches answer G. G is correct. Puzzle 28. This is a puzzle with repetitions in the rows and the columns. To see it more clear, let's remove the answers. This is what repeats in each row or column. So just imagine that you add two of these shapes together to create an image. For example, the first image, you can visualize it like this, and the answer you can visualize like this. This matches answer G. Answer G is correct. Puzzle 29. For this puzzle, we have both addition and intersection of the shapes in the rows and the columns. Let's start by looking at the first column. The two first images have this circle on the left in common, and not this circle on the top and the bottom. The circle they have in common is carried over to the third image, while the squares are just added together and carried over. To solve the puzzle, let's look at the third column. The two first images have no circles in common, so the answer will have no circles. And we have four squares, top right, top left, bottom right. This matches answer F. Answer F is correct. Puzzle 30. This is a magic square, meaning that if we add the numbers together in either of these lines, we will get the sum of 111. First row is 7 plus 61 plus 43, which equals 111. Second row, 73 plus 37 plus 1 equal to 111. First column, 7 plus 73 plus 31, 111. Second column, 61 plus 37 plus 13, 111. Top right to bottom left diagonal, 43 plus 37 plus 31, 111. To solve the puzzle, we look at either of these directions, and we get that the sum of the two numbers is 44, 31 plus 13, 44, 7 plus 37, 44, 43 plus 1, 44. Meaning that the answer will be 111 minus 44 equaling 67. This leaves either answer A or D, and we see that the font repeats from top left to bottom right, meaning that the font of the answer is small and non-cursive, matching answer A. Answer A is correct. Puzzle 31. For this puzzle, I don't really understand the complete pattern. All that I could find was that in the rows, the first and the last letter is one letter apart alphabetically. S comes before T, O comes after N, D comes before E, and F comes after E. So the correct answer should either be the letter D or F. Only one of the answers have one of these two letters, and that's answer E. Answer E is correct. Please leave us a comment if you know how to explain the full pattern of this puzzle. Puzzle 32. This puzzle has an obvious pattern in the rows. I want you to compare the second and the third row. So the first images of these two rows are just rotated versions of each other. So we would expect that the answer is identical to the last image in the second row, but the square inside is rotated by 90 degrees counterclockwise. This matches answer F. Answer F is correct. Puzzle 33. The letters repeat on the diagonals from top right to bottom left. Here we can see that the letter P is rotated by 180 degrees as you move it down. For L, it's a bit different. When the L goes from the left and reappears on the right, it's only rotated by 90 degrees clockwise, and then from the second to the third image, we go back to 180 degree rotations. So to solve the puzzle, we look at R. First 180 degrees, and then we go from the left to the right, so we expect a 90 degree clockwise rotation. This matches answer C. Answer C is correct. Puzzle 34. Another puzzle where we have repetitions from top right to bottom left. Let's first look at this diagonal. First, we have the main shape, which is altered slightly between the images. And then we have this one dot on the bottom that we can see in all the images. Then we have this one dot on the top right, which you can see in two of the images. And then we have one extra dot on the bottom left in one image. Blue diagonal, same concept. We have the main shape that is altered slightly. We have one dot that repeats in all three images. One dot that repeats in two, and one dot that repeats in one. To solve the puzzle, we look at the red diagonal. The main shape is a triangle shape with two lines, so we can eliminate the answers that doesn't fit this shape. Next, we see that we have one image with one dot and one image with three dots, leaving the answer with two dots. So we can eliminate answer A and C since they have 1 and 3 dots. So we have this one dot that should repeat in all the images and be connected to the same line on the same side. So we can eliminate answer F and D. Next, we see that the main shape in answer G points down instead of to the right. So we can eliminate answer G, leaving only answer E. Answer E is correct. Puzzle 35. I think there is a mistake in this puzzle. I think the top right triangle of image 5 should be black instead of white. So now that it's fixed, we can look at either the rows or the columns. In the second row, we have 2 white on top plus 1 white on bottom equals 1 white on top. So if we have same color on different sides, they cancel out. 3 black on bottom plus 1 black on top equals 2 black on bottom. For the third row, 1 white on top plus 3 white on bottom equals 2 white on bottom. And then we have 1 black on bottom plus 2 black on top equals 1 black on top. So the answer has 1 black on top and 2 white on bottom. This matches only answer E. Answer E is correct. Please leave us a comment if you know how to explain the full pattern of this puzzle. Puzzle 36. To explain this puzzle, all you need to do is count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14 and a half, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now, you could do the same thing in the first column, the second column, or this diagonal, and you would still get 15. This is just a magic square in disguise. To solve the puzzle, I will do the same in the last row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 and a half. So the correct answer will be 5 squares and 1 triangle. This matches answer B. Answer B is correct. By the way, you could also solve the puzzle in the third column or on this diagonal from top left to bottom right. All lead to answer B. After taking the test, I got the score of 143.2 if untimed and 150 or more if timed. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you have a great day and I will see you again in the next puzzle. Bye bye.